What's up guys, my name is Chaylee and welcome back to my channel. If you watched my previous video labeled Zombie Monday, you know I'm currently trying to get my book published, which means I've spent a lot of time writing. A lot. About 5 years writing one novel to be exact. Now the last 5 years weren't completely focused on writing my manuscript, but the last 2 definitely were. Prior to that I was doing a lot of research and I was coming up with concepts, scrapping them. As you would do as a writer, you may have an original concept, but it may have plot holes or it may not make much sense, or you may just not like it, which is perfectly normal. A lot of writers will scrap their first initial draft and, continue writing a different manuscript. However, as you're writing, you may actually develop certain habits that could be either good or bad, which is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about habits that I've developed as a writer, especially when quarantine started. And if you like zombies, horror, and writing, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Let's get started. Now, a lot of writers have some normal habits, and a lot of writers also have some weird habits. But I have seen a lot of different writers talk about habits that they have, and a lot of them are actually pretty similar. So if you've ever had a weird habit that you've developed while writing, and you think that you're alone in it, chances are you're not. To start us off, number 1, I never had a consistent sleep schedule the entire time I was writing. It's bad enough as a writer that you would pull 3 all-nighters in a row, but a lot of writers actually just become night owls. Your sleep schedule can get so messed up that you would be working until 4 a.m. or until the sun rises, and you'd be going to sleep until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. For some reason, a lot of writers just get the best ideas and the best workflow at night. I don't know why that is. And some writers try to pull themselves into a better sleep schedule, but it is a struggle and a have to do so. I recently just got my own sleep schedule fixed. Kind of. It's still a little iffy here and there. But there were times prior to that I would be going to bed at 4 a.m. and waking up at 1 p.m. I think it was like the worst that I had, but I didn't like the fact that I was going until like almost the morning and then sleeping until late afternoon, and then it felt like I slept the day away, and I did not like that, so I really tried to fix my sleep schedule. Number 2, I would completely throw any form of self-care out the window if I got caught up in my writing. When a writer gets into the zone with their writing, they're not going to want to stop, especially if they have a tight schedule that they like to stay on. This can get to a point where a lot of writers will just completely forget to take care of themselves for days because they're so caught up in their writing. Whether it be that they need to take care of their own hygiene, feed themselves, or do any other responsibility, the entire time that they are working on their novel or whatever it is that they're doing, they just forget it exists. It doesn't exist at this moment in time. Some people will not take a break for days at a time until they just one day realize that they've been sitting in the same sweatpants and tank top for about a week, having not moved from that position for about a week. Well, that's exaggerating it. Some do, get up and go eat or whatever, but you get my gist. They wake up, they roll out of bed, and they want to work. But I also had a really bad tendency to not take care of myself. There were some cases where I would go without eating for 3 days, maybe occasionally snacking here and there, but I just would not feel hungry. I would be so focused on working that I just would not feel hungry. I just forget about it. You forget that food exists. And you forget that as a human being, you do require sustenance. Which I definitely try to avoid doing that now. I will set reminders if I plan to work for a day that I need to go eat at this time, I need to drink plenty of water, because that is not good. Please take care of yourself. As for my wardrobe, it mostly consisted of sweatpants, hoodies, tank tops, or night shorts, or fuzzy pajama pants. I would literally roll out of bed, walk into the living room, get something to eat for breakfast, usually a cup of cereal, and then I would come back to my room and start working. Number 3, I have a terrible addiction to caffeine. I've heard a lot of writers say that they definitely develop a strong and toxic relationship with coffee, and I am definitely no exception. I literally have a mini fridge in my studio where it's packed full of iced coffee so I can avoid leaving the room so that I can get straight back to work after just standing up, walking 3 feet, grabbing a bottle of iced coffee, and then coming back to my desk and sitting down. I also actually really enjoy coffee. I've heard some writers say that they don't enjoy coffee, but it helps them get through an all-nighter. I actually really enjoy it. And it also actually helps me focus, if that makes any bit of sense. Number 4, I actually do my best work when I am not home. I don't know why this is. I don't know why it happens. I don't know if anyone else experiences it, but when I am out in public, like if I'm at a library, if I'm at a restaurant, or if I'm literally anywhere, I want to work. I have the strongest motivation. I don't know if it's because I want to distract myself, and that's a good way to distract myself. I don't know what it is. I literally get the best mojo to work when I am sitting anywhere but the comfort of my own home. Number 5, I can get extremely emotional over my own fictional world. I mean, I get into my own writing to the point that when I'm writing a scene out, I am voicing my own thoughts on what's happening, even though I technically have the power to change it. But I'll be voicing my own thoughts about how ignorant this character is or how dramatic this character is, and I'm like, if you two would just see the eye to eye, it wouldn't be so damn difficult. But it doesn't work out like that. I will also rant about how terrible a villain that I created is. Like, you know that you've written a good villain when you hate them yourselves, you loathe everything about them. Or I'll get into the sadness of like a character's death that I've written now. I will literally feel hurt writing a character's death. Or I'll be writing like emotional conflict and be like, man, if you two would just see eye to eye for like 5 seconds, it would be fine. If you were to just stop and listen for like just a moment, everything would be running so smoothly. But it doesn't always work out like that. I will not hang on days that I plan to write. There were a lot of times within, like, especially the summer months when I was completing my first manuscript and I started editing it, that friends would ask me to go hang out, and I would ask them when they wanted to go hang out, and they would be like, oh, this day that you're working on this, or it would always fall on a day that I had planned and scheduled to work, so then I would have to decline it. Or sometimes we had to figure out a workaround and go on a day that I had off or I didn't have anything planned. Because I treat my writing like a job. I try to the most extent that I can. I started slacking off a little bit when I finished my manuscript, and I started working on finding literary agents. That's going to start picking up again here in a bit, because I'm going to start writing myself a schedule so I can film YouTube videos as well as work on my second manuscript. There would be times where I would confine myself to my room and only leave for the essentials. I mentioned earlier that I get this overwhelming drive to work when I am away from home, and I don't know why, but there would be days or even weeks where I would literally just confine myself to this room and work on nothing but my book or any other project that I had planned until it was finished. Once I start something, I will finish it no matter how long it takes me. I love talking about my book to my friends. If they are willing to listen, I will talk their ear off about it because that is 90% of what I want to talk about when I converse with anyone anyways. I gotta watch YouTube or listen to music while I work. I don't know why, I just know it's actually pretty common among a lot of writers that I've heard talk about their own habits, that they also like to listen to music or have like a TV show on in the background while they're editing for background noise because it helps them focus. I guess I'm that way too. Now, I will bring my laptop on any vacation that I take. You betcha I'm gonna bring my laptop to a beach or to a camping trip that we're going to at a cabin or literally anywhere. I'm going to bring my laptop so I can work on anything that I have to work on because I am for some reason a workaholic. Those are the habits that I've developed along my writing journey. If you have any habits that you developed along your own writing journey that you want to talk about, leave them in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit the like button. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye!